Yo, what's going on everyone? Guiding Light here, and in this video I wanted to do a quick review of the Secret Garden. Now if you guys don't know what this is an ultimate weapon which has to be crafted here in the first Descendant, and it actually does have some pretty crazy unique perks. Now the reason why I say it's going to be a quick review is because I haven't had the time to fully go in and put like an energy activator and 10 crystallization catalysts. That definitely is something that takes a few days. Also with these ultimate weapons, you have to craft multiple versions of them in order to get them to their full spec'd out ability. So I just want to give a quick review, tell you guys whether or not it's really worth going for after unlocking it. So what this weapon will do, as you can see here, it says when using a dimension skill, it will recover custom resources with a set chance. Now only certain descendants are going to use custom resources. And so if you aren't one of the descendants that uses custom resources, this effect really won't do much for you. Now if you are using those custom resources, you can see there that it's going to give you 10% custom resources every time that effect is triggered. So it's not going to really have too much of an effect. Now, the most effect that you're going to see is on this pest control ability. As you can see here, what that's going to do is it's going to affect quite a bit. So anytime you use one of your tech skills, what it's going to do is it's going to last for 5 seconds. It can stack up to 3 times. It's going to give you 5% firearm ATK, 5% skill ATK, firearm ATK 12%, and then skill percent 12% each time it stacks. So you can multiply that by 3, and that's the percentage you're gonna get every time that you're at max stack. Now keep in mind this weapon is not leveled up, and those are the perks and the stats which will increase each time that you craft one of these Secret Garden weapons. That unique perk will get stronger and stronger. So the trigger rate could go up, the duration could go up, the amount of skill power bonus and ATK bonus could go up after crafting more and more of these Secret Gardens. And that's what makes these ultimate weapons so incredible, is that they get so much stronger after you've crafted multiple over and upgraded the unique perk. So as you can see here, it's only going to be effective on certain characters, but the fact that you get that skill power buff and the ATK to your firearm could make for some pretty incredible builds, because this effect will stack with every other ability on your character. So if you already have mods that's giving you ATK bonus plus 25%, plus 30%, now this is going to stack even further. And as you can see, it can stack up to 3 times. So now if you put all the numbers together, you get 12%, you go up to 36% stack, plus you already have 30-40% stack on your weapon module. You're going to have an 80% boost overall to damage. And that's only with the weapon ATK. That's not even considering the skill bonuses. When built into other skill bonuses, you could probably get your skill bonus up to well over 100%. And this is going to be pretty crazy on certain characters once utilized correctly. So it may seem a little complicated how this weapon will work at first, but I can promise once you guys have made a few builds for all these different characters, it will really make sense how you can stack all of these unique abilities together to create that ultimate setup. So this is definitely going to take a lot of like knowledge in the game about how builds work, what characters use it on, and things like that. But I definitely think that this is going to be one of the best weapons in the game due to the fact that it has so many different effects. It can be used on so many different characters, but it definitely is a bit more of a special use item, as it will only really work on Glay, Ajax, Bunny, and Kyle, the players that use the custom resources the most. Now, it's not to be said that you couldn't still see benefits with it on other characters. I'm actually really interested to use it on Viesa because I want to stack up that skill power buff on top of all of the other skill power. Now, another thing to keep in mind is you're getting that skill power buff, and then you can use Bunny as well, and all of your skills are going to get buffed up. There's already so many builds that I'm thinking about that you could utilize this weapon with. So I think it's going to be great to craft and have on you so that you can proc this perk at any time you want, but it might not be something that you're going to be rocking all the time, going out and farming every single enemy with. You're kind of going to take it out when you need it, trigger that perk for the extra skill, and then maybe go take down an elite or a mob of enemies now that you have all that extra power. I can honestly really see it working very well in the Void Intercept battles. You think about it, you could take down a couple of the roly-polies, get this perk to proc. Now you've got all that extra skill power, all that extra firearm ATK. You can probably use it to take down the boss considerably faster. So that's where it's going to shine the most. Now let's take it into a couple missions and see if it's actually just overall good for like mob clear and things like that. So as it said, you can only really get these perks to proc up on fusion skills and tech skills, as you can see. So you want to look at which skills you're going to be proccing so that you can get this ability to work. And then when you do, you'll get all of those effects immediately. So right now the gun's sitting at like a 112k DPS. It has a pretty large clip as well. Even I only have a few mods slotted in for clip size, and it's got like 70 bullets. So here's a quick look at some of the extra damage output you'll be able to do when this perk is active. So in all honesty, it wasn't anything too impressive or too crazy, but at the same time, this is not a character really utilized to get the most benefits out of it. Now, overall, like I said, guys, I think it's going to be something I would farm for and definitely get, but it's not something that's going to just dominate on every single character that you play. Now, if you do play Bunny, Ajax, Kyle, one of those characters, you may want to consider getting it before getting something like Clairvoyance or something like that, because Clairvoyance is sort of an ice-based weapon. Then there's something like Python, which is better for Glay, and like each ultimate is kind of better for on its own character. So if you're not one of those characters, you may want to go after one of the different weapons that's more suited for your playstyle. Now the clip size and things like that, the recoil are honestly really good, but the only downside that I saw was the fact that you cannot go full auto, but as of next week you should be able to, and I think it'll make this weapon a lot better after that update. Now I still wanted to make this review before the update so we can kind of compare it a little bit as to what it'll be like. Now it is cool to still run on Biesa because it triggers that effect over all tech skills, and the particles that follow her around are considered tech skill. So you can still proc it on other characters, even the ones that aren't mentioned, but it's just that you're not going to see as much of an effect. Now, because you can run 3 weapons, I think it's actually worth having slotted in. If you could only run maybe 1 ultimate at a time, I would probably not run it on this character, but because you can have it 3 slotted in at a time, I really don't think it's a bad idea to keep on you. Maybe proc that ability here and there when you need it, or you want that extra power, and then you can always switch back to something else. So realistically, like, I think it's actually a great weapon to get and have on your character. So it's better than other ultimates that I wouldn't even slot in at all, but it's not anything crazy that I would say, okay, you should probably go unlock this right now. You're not going to see that crazy of a difference, and it doesn't help out your teammates that much either, like some of the other ultimates will. So hopefully this video helps you guys out, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.